Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, everyone. Mike Arnold here, co-founder, Path Trading Partners, along with Bob Iacino. How is everyone doing? Welcome to the 3.5 trillion quad witching day. Going to be very interesting. I think we'll get some back and forth volatility. Would be surprised if we have a just a strong trend day one way or the other. Anything is possible though, because generally on these kind of days you get back and forth, choppier price action, especially with this many. It's really weighted around a lot of open interest right where we're trading, so it could get very, very interesting, especially this afternoon, and especially with Fed speakers going on. By the way, if you're new here, please do consider subscribing, ringing that bell, and hitting the like button. Longer term viewers, please like the videos and leave some comments. We already have Waller talking about stuff. We'll get to that in a second. By the way, the Consumer Board leading index is coming out at 9, and existing home sales. Barkins is speaking at 11:30 Central. Evans at 13. He's always very dovish though. 14 is Bowman, and not on there is Waller's already been piping up about stuff. By the way, your zero gamma is still about 43.87, so that's the key area to watch. I'm just keeping an eye now starting for FOMC. We'll see if this shifts today with the Fed speakers. Right now, this would be a single rate hike. This would be a 50 basis point hike. So it's roughly 60-40 right now. You had Waller already coming out this morning that they should consider a 50 basis point increase in the next couple meetings. And he wants to front load the rate hikes and start the asset runoff at the next meeting or two. So definitely, I think they're trying to talk down the markets. The markets getting a little ahead of themselves. And he would like the rate slightly above neutral rate by the end of 2022, which would be very aggressive. I think I saw Bullard also say something. Where was it? Let me just look through a bunch of stuff here. I think I saw him talking about wanting also to get to that neutral rate faster than expected. So right now, not much price action though. Not much going on. Sitting here, just trading in a narrow range, slight pullback. So we'll take a look at that. Good morning, Jake. Good morning, Ken. Good morning, Amit. You have the crews in the house. Good morning, Wavy. Let's see. The Bulls were in charge yesterday. It didn't matter what you were trading. Yeah, it was a green St. Patrick's Day. Hey, Davey / Tesla Force. Good morning, Options 22. Yeah, 3.5 trillion quad witch. Exactly. It's going to get interesting. So it's just, even if you didn't have the Fed speakers today, you have the quad witching. Well, it's still triple witching since the other exchange went away in 2020, but we're going to call it quad witching because that's how everybody still thinks of it. Good morning, Sonic Q1. All right, S&P. Again, I'm really just keying off of this 4,400 area, which is pretty significant. That's where I'm watching for the daily closing area if we do rally. First level support is about 43.63. We break below that, then you see the 1 hour's gone flat. So, and that's where the 4 hour rotation zone is. If we break below that, my next support isn't really down until 43.31 area. You might find some minor 43.42, but 43.41, which is pretty significant. Then below there, 42.93. But again, I'm expecting a choppier back and forth day to the upside. If it does get a rally on above 44.06, the next major level isn't till 44.41, and then I'm going off 44.63. So that's where we're sitting there. Nasdaq, we're trading right at this key area right now, about 13,987. We start breaking below there. Major support zone is about 13,830 to 13,850, and then below there I'm back to 13,670 area. You can see here we're right at that 4 hour rotation zone, so dipping into there, you don't have a lot of support back down to this 13,846. Dow, to the upside, if we do get the rally, we have that overhead with the 4 hour 200 and yesterday's high, so that's coming in about 14,111 to about 14,134. If we do get above there with a strong rally, then I'd be off about 14,270 to 14,281. Gonna just get through these real quick, then I'll take a look. Dow right at that 4-hour rotation zone, so key area I'd be watching on a pullback 33,884 to about 13,900. Below there, you have the bottom of the rotation zone coming in about 33,830, but the next major level below there is 33,702. So the upside, we only hit that first harmonic yesterday, so my next key level is 34,637. The DAX rebounding after hitting the bottom of the 4-hour rotation zone. This is why we watch it, and the first target from this little mini double after stalling out here. So if the DAX comes back, I'm really going to be watching for about 437. Crude, little slight pullback here. I'm still watching for that potential XOM stuff today, but you see little mini double coming back down and then continuing to retrace, but still getting close to that final target, not quite hitting it. We could see some choppier price action in crude. If it does retrace more, about 98 is very key support if it does break through 100. Gold, little pause here, inside day from yesterday's. So we're still, it could still roll back down. 1876 is the next target, but I'd be watching really back at this 1900 if it breaks below about 1930, if we get pressure on there. Silver coming up, not quite getting to that neckline again. Inside day still. Key area I'm watching is yesterday's low, about 25.23, and then I'd be targeting back to 24.77. Notes, again, inside day, so major overhead resistance on any rallies about 125.03. I'll be watching to see if we do break below 124.03. But again, we could be in choppy for a lot of things. Dollar coming back down, confirming but not triggering the double yet, and rotating back up. But even this rotation does not invalidate the double. It'd have to get up to this, back to above that 99 level. Let's see where we sit now. A quick look at Nvidia, please. Limited downside, cluster too hot. I'd be watching if it does pull back again. We have this there is a little play right now to the upside in Nvidia. If we get a market rally, you're into this little move right up here with a return. My intraday play would be a return to about, if it got a stronger rally, about 256 on any rally move, and you do have back above the 200. You might get that first cross of the rotation zone, but key support would be at 237. I'd really be watching. I wouldn't be in, if it starts getting below yesterday's low, I would not be in then short-term bullish mode today. It might have to resume on Monday. Let's just see that 1 hour. If you want an early warning sign, you get below about this 244.92 area, 244. You see this key support, 244.60 to 244.92. You start getting below there. You could see a pretty quick pullback to 283. Why don't you want to drop below there? Because you can see here on this 1 hour chart, resistance, 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 and trying to hold above that resistance with the rising rotation zone. So that's key, because if it can't hold it again, you might see another quick pullback, but that's the little Nvidia play. And if it pulls back, then I'd be watching, first would be about 236 area. 236, then 236, 237. Let's see. SPY max pain at 446. And that's right at the 200. So could you see a rally? Yeah, I mean, I'm going to key off what's going on the open. But again, if it starts moving, I'm watching for some still back and forth choppy price action. Thanks for putting that in there. QQQ, can we assume a double top on the miss of the left leg? Let's take a look at the QQQ. A QQQ double top. We still have, the double bottom's still in play on a rally. I don't have any double this little, that's not a double top right now. The key area on the Qs are the 340, 341. You don't want to see, if you're in bullish mode, you don't want to see a drop below that. So that would be a tight stop for this level, but hitting the first target, 344.60. Head and shoulders on the 5-minute. On which one? On Mullen? No, it's let's see. No, technically not. Above this trend line right here, it's invalidated, which is essentially returning to the peak of the left shoulder. So that's, you start getting a move back above 254, it's invalidated. And remember, we had the longer term patterns are going to outweigh the shorter term patterns. So you had the longer term patterns right here. It's not invalidated left. It looks like it's going to be down to a little lower open. So you're watching for support. Key area I'd be watching, you know, your first level is this, again, 222, but I'd really then be focused on this 214. So it's still not invalidated from a technical standpoint. It just rallied back, could not get above the shoulder and above the failsafe trend line. Let's take a look at Tesla. I know a bunch of people are long Tesla. Starting with little key area, I'm really watching minor level. I'm watching on a pullback is about this 859, 860 area. We start dropping below there. See, that's really key. It's 1 hour rotation zone. You have on the 15-minute, so I'm jumping around a little, you have this little resistance ledge becoming support just below that 15-minute, but you start dropping in here. You don't have many stopping points. You have some minor stopping points about 850, and then back could be back to 841. Bullish case is a break above 875. The next target, nothing's changed. The next major target is 889. Then on above there, it's 904. What's your max pain at? You're not 840. Could you see it? Tesla max pain on 840. Could you see it? Yeah, you'll get some warning signs before. You'd need a pretty big pullback also in the NASDAQ though. So that's, and let's see, and then the 25% retracement harmonic from this key level is coming in at about 842. And your rising bottom of the daily rotation zone. So if you do start getting that trade into that, I mean the rising 1 hour rotation zone, and that's going to catch up here pretty quick. So that's not a bad level. If you do have a sell-off, I would focus on what Tesla Force put in here with max pain at 840 on a potential. If it does drop, you could see a interesting pin there this afternoon. All right. Gonna be an interesting day. Again, a slight pullback, not down 1%, but this, after this massive 3-day rally, it's sort of caught in this range, so it's really going to be keying off of what we do on the open. And remember, unless we start getting a strong trend day either way, I think you will see some sharp reversals both ways. So keep that in mind when you're considering stops. Okay, because you could be, all right, I'm bullish mode. No, wait, I'm bearish mode. No, wait, I'm bull. You could see some interesting stuff going on. So there'll be, yes, you could see some games, and you could, yeah, there'll be some traps and quick reversals. And the closer you get this afternoon, we could see some, again, some sharp and sudden moves with a bunch of stuff really close to open interest at the money is really high. Mike, on macro, I realize this is a nice rally and correcting market, but why the reaction after the Fed meeting, as they will be raising rates almost each meeting? We were watching for the rally. I mean, this rally, I was expecting a bump up. My top area, it was right in here where we topped out that trend line, which I pulled off, and possible return to that 62.5. So that wasn't expected. That wasn't unexpected. Why is it going? Again, people are still in the buy the mode. Buy the dip mode. I'm telling you, the buy the dip is still in full force. So please don't be shocked with this. Everybody, I still talk, not everybody, but a majority of people, they're going for new highs this year. Nothing, including the Fed. For some reason now, what the Fed's doing is bullish. They believe the Fed, what they're talking about, that unemployment's going to drop, that we're in a strong recovery. Everything's great with the economy. Citibank, if it does pop up again, not yet an oversold, I'd be focusing on about 58.36. Long term, I'm watching for this to roll over again. I think this is going to be a trap for a lot of people running into these financials. You see on the weekly, again, just returning this first breakdown zone, but you could return to the second breakdown zone easily at 60 before to roll over again. Not bullish on the long term. If you did get a pop play, it would just be with limited upside. And my first target today, if you got bullish mode, will only be about 58.40. And right now it looks like it's going to be slightly lower. It's roughly, from my perspective, until we get a key rollover move and options expirations, it would be sit on my hands at the short term on Citibank for me. Finally, we'll take a glance at XOM. Then I really have to prep for this market open. What I'm watching with XOM, if we can get a little floor in oil, we triggered a little mini double yesterday. You can see it here on the 1 hour triggered. So I am watching it again. What would invalidate this? This would have to get back down to the below 77 again. So any price action, this isn't just for today. If this sits and pauses and doesn't do much, I'm still going to be watching for follow through next week. But the upside target 79.80, 80.35 area, and then 80.88. Remember, you also have the gap fill, which is why I like it. And again, I'm going to reiterate, this is not necessarily just for today. This is for, as long as this pattern's not invalidated, if we don't do much today or have a slight pullback, I will look to still be in this on Monday. How do the Asian, they just pulled back slightly. Again, everybody's keying off option expiration today. It was just a pullback, basing move back from the really extended rally yesterday. So everything's just in about 10 minutes, we're going to start seeing where the initial reaction will be. Don't just key off the first 5-minute bar though. Again, start watching those longer term levels and be prepared for back and forth price action. And if you're trading anything with crude, keep glancing at the crude market. We already got that little pullback play. I'm just going to see, you want a key little area to watch. If crude gets back above 103, things like that XOM play could be it could be game on for the upside, but it's got to really get above that 103 level in crude. So keep an eye on that. You can even set an alert. Right now we're trading 101.73. With that, I'm going to wrap it up. Hope everybody has a great day. I will be back this afternoon. We'll do an end-of-day recap. We'll take a look at how the markets did perform and a little quick session this afternoon. Then we'll have a great week.